Hello, I'm Jim Poitras, the Director of Education and Short-Term Missions for Global Missions here at our global headquarters. Today, I'm so glad that you have joined us for this session that deals with the call and short-term missions. Let me give you a little bit of a roadmap of the journey that we're going to be taking over the next 20 minutes. We will be talking about short-term missions, and each person involved today will give a teaching point and also explain a little bit about the program or programs that they're involved with. I'm being joined today by two very special and important people when it comes to short-term missions. One is Sunitha Clayton with UPCI Youth Ministries, and it is such a privilege to partner and network with them for the cause of taking the whole gospel to the whole world by the whole church. Sunitha is a missions activist, a missions lover, and she is the director of AYC, the Apostolic Youth Corps. And we're thankful for Sunitha and her vision and burden for missions. Secondly, we will be joined by my executive assistant, Angie Clark, who works with me in short-term missions here at Global Missions. Angie is a supreme missions mobilizer deluxe. She is so active in finding multiple pathways to the harvest and coordinates a number of our programs like Next Steps program and TESOL, and is involved in everything that we do here. Each of us will give you a little bit of an idea of the programs that we represent, but more than that, we want to leave you with a teaching point, something that you can take away with you, and it will be a blessing to your ministry and to the ministry of others. We're working off of this premise that you step into our office, you express that you have a burden or a desire or a heart for missions and want to know what your next step would be, or you are someone that is actively involved in ministry, either as a pastor, a youth pastor, and others are stepping into your office and asking you what should be their next right step when it comes to global missions. The next right step means a whole lot to me, because I believe that finding the will of God is as easy as finding and doing the next right step. You don't have to know the entire journey, just know and do the next right step. Enjoy the trip here with this session.
Hey everyone, it's Sunitha Clayton, Apostolic Youth Corps Director. In this seminar, we're talking about the call and short-term missions. Well, AYC is part of short-term missions. It is a ministry of UPCI Youth Ministries, where we pair mission-minded young people with sites all over the world that need and desire evangelism assistance. So in other words, we send young people over to really get involved in missions and help out hosts all over the world. It's an amazing ministry. Some people might ask, like, why? Why would I do AYC? And for me, I kind of asked that same question when I was your age. If you're a young person watching this and wondering, how can I get involved in missions, or why should I get involved in missions? Well, the call is the reason why. When I was your age, I was like, okay, you know what? I could go on a mission trip. I don't really feel called to short-term missions, but my leader, my mentor, asked me to go, and I said, yes, let's do it. And whenever I was on my short-term missions trip, God really spoke to me. It was like I could remove all the distractions. Nobody back home was telling me what I needed to do, what I needed to do my future on, or anything like that. I was really able to dial into what God wanted, and He spoke directly to me. And because I took time away, I invested in my future and in my ministry through God, that He was able to tell me what I needed to do in the future. And I realized that I was able to mold and plan my life for the future around the call of God, instead of later kind of revamping and reorganizing my life around the call. And it's been the most rewarding thing ever. So if you're sitting there wondering, maybe I should do short-term missions, I promise it'll be worth the investment in your ministry. And I pray that God continues to speak to you and orders your steps as you move forward.
Have you ever wondered if there's something more, something better than your basic routine? In the back of your mind, do you ever question, have I really experienced it all? Is there a way that I can actually impact my world? Can God use someone like me to impact somebody else's life?
AYC gives you the opportunity to serve the local churches. In the midst of serving, you realize yourself that you needed the experience more than people needed you.
Jesus said, "Truly I say unto you, as you did it to one of the least of these my brothers, you did it to me. But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, proclaim as you go, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Heal the sick, raise the dead, cleanse lepers, and cast out demons."
It begins to fuel your passion for His work, His kingdom. It breaks you out of your comfort zone and provides you a one-way ticket on a journey full of ministry opportunities. It's an experience meant for every child of God. Finding His purpose in your life changes you forever.
AYC gives you the opportunity to disconnect from all distractions and focus solely on His purpose for you. It allows you to pour into others on unfamiliar soul while God pours back into you at a rapid rate.
Ministry on an AYC trip looks different at every destination. We assemble music teams to lead worship at local churches, provide outreach assistance, go on prayer walks in various cities, visit children in orphanages, feed the needy, and share the truth with people across the continents.
You come home with a clear vision, heavy burden, and enough passion to change your world.
Because you are willing, God can use you to change your world.
I'm gonna tell the world about
Hi, my name is Angie Clark, and I'm going to be talking you through some of the short-term missions programs we have in Global Missions that are helping people find their pathway to the harvest. We in Global Missions are very interested in helping people find that pathway to the harvest, and we're also very interested in creating a community of laborers. For me, one of the biggest things I can tell someone who is feeling a call to missions is if you're called to be a goer, test it out. Go on a short-term missions trip like AYC or Youth on Mission. And if you're too old to go on one of those kind of trips, well then try to take one in a local church or district setting, or just meet up with a missionary who comes through your church on deputation. By going on a trip like this and testing it out, you'll find that you don't have to do missions alone. The Holy Spirit will be with you to lead you and guide you and comfort you, but also there's a community of laborers out there that will become more complete when you become a part of it. And as you might expect, you will become more complete as you walk in your calling. The first program I want to share with you is the Next Steps program. It's commonly referred to as the bridge between AYC and our Associates program, but it's actually open to anyone as long as they're at least 18 years of age upon departure. Now I'm going to pause here for a moment just to tell you I am so proud that we now have young, next-gen missionaries who are fully appointed and have come through this program. Now, the training participants receive during this program isn't just for the program. It's for a lifetime of being a global Christian, no matter where the person ends up. So if you or someone you know has taken more than one AYC trip and they're interested in stepping further outside of their comfort zone and kind of digging in a little bit more into missions, well, then the Next Steps program is the perfect program for them. Now, as our director often says, the will of God is as simple as finding and taking the next right step. So I'll join you in a few minutes after Brooke's testimony and just remind you that if God calls you, He will make a way.
Everyone is called to be a servant. Even the Master humbled Himself to wash the feet of His disciples. He led a life of service, teaching, and healing. We are called to do the same. We experience the call to servanthood in the local church, but there are some who wonder what it would be like to apply their ministry somewhere away from their home for a limited amount of time, learning new methods, experiencing new opportunities, and acquiring new skills. Enter the Next Steps program. It's 8 weeks of inspired training and interning as a missionary. Participants spend 3 weeks in sessions that challenge how they pray, inform them of the world mission, and expand their call to service in a way that's not restricted by their normal comfort zone. They get to step away from distractions of life in North America to truly see the harvest firsthand, connecting the dots between the world and the reality of those unreached and untouched by the gospel. After training, next steppers are encouraged to use their skills and knowledge, putting into action right there on the field experiences they've brought at home and things they've learned during training. They get to intern with other like-minded participants so they don't have to do it all alone. They do the work of real live missionaries. They gain cross-cultural experience that can be used anywhere in the world. They can make connections that span continents and last a lifetime. Does anyone come to mind who could benefit from 8 weeks of intentional servanthood? Some are called to missions for a lifetime, others just for a season, but both are called to serve wherever they are. Both are servants. Next Steps training and experiences transcend the field. They are for a lifetime of service anywhere. Do you know someone who needs to hear about this program? Then help us reach them with this great opportunity. Pass it on. Is it you? Are you ready to take your next step into a future of ministry? Then don't let this opportunity pass you by. Apply now.
Every great story leaves you with something, and this is my relic. This envelope may not seem like much, but this is proof to me that if God calls you to do something, He's always going to make a way. I went on an AYC trip that really sparked my interest in missions. After returning home, one of our chaperones mentioned the Next Steps trip to me. After a lot of prayer and research, I finally decided to apply, but I was really concerned about finances. In fact, just a little while after applying, I was gonna let them know that I was no longer able to attend because I didn't think I'd be able to raise the funds. But a day before I sent the email, my church decided to take up a last-minute offering. In that offering, they raised over $5,000 for my trip, which is more than what I needed to attend. It was that miraculous intervention that allowed me to go on the Next Steps trip. And that's why I'm confident in saying that if God calls you to do something, He's always going to make a way.
I love that story so much. So how does someone go from being a next stepper to being a fully appointed intermediate or career missionary? The answer is the AIM program. Our Associates in Missions program has been around since 1980, and literally thousands have gone through the program since it started. I myself served in 3 nations at different times in my life, and just about every missionary currently under appointment has served on the AIM program in the past. If you're someone who's hesitating about answering a call to short-term missions appointment, let me assure you that AIM is incredibly flexible, and it's not nearly as scary once you make the commitment. So if you have a call to go, be encouraged. There's room for you. I'll join you on the other side of Amber Corey's story.
Amber Corey, and I am on AIM in Guatemala. I'm from Alabama, but I've been in Guatemala for the past 8 years. And one comment that I get a lot is AIMers just sing and preach, and they need to have this ministry that's just behind the pulpit. But that is completely different than what I do here at Home International. I am the director of a children's home, so I do everything from wash dishes, or run errands, go to the bank. There's a lot of administrative work, financial reports. In truth, AIM can look a lot of different ways. And if there's something that you can do, a talent that you have, a ministry that you have, there's a way to use it on a foreign field. So go, it'll change your life, and you might just change the world.
Well, we're coming to a close, but before the seminar ends, let me share one more rather specific pathway to the harvest that can be used at home or abroad. And it is literally right under your nose. If you can understand the words coming out of my mouth, then this is something you might want to consider. If you are a first language or fluent English speaker, you have a way to reach into immigrant and refugee communities. You have a way to earn a living when you go on AIM overseas. You have access to communities that would otherwise be closed to the gospel, except with this key. All of this is possible if you are simply willing to go and teach others how to speak English. You don't know how to do that? Global Missions has an answer. Every year in the summer, we host a TESOL Certification program, which is simply training for how to teach other people to speak English. So if you want to connect, if you want to get your hands in the harvest, consider teaching English. I'll leave you with one more short video, but before I go, just let me say thank you. Thank you for your interest. Thank you for hanging with us while we tried to explain some of the pathways to the harvest that we have in Global Missions now. And I just want to ask you, please share this information with others who might be interested in going. I look forward to seeing you or someone you send our way on that pathway to the harvest. God bless.
What do kindergartners, business professionals, primary, middle, and high school students, immigrants and refugees from all around the world have in common? They are unreached, untouched by the gospel. If you're looking for a way to multiply your ministry while meeting a community need, the TESOL Advantage just might be for you. Teaching English as a foreign language overseas is a great way to fund a short-term missions appointment or connect with the unreached of our world for Jesus. Teaching English as a second language in North America is a great tool you can use to reach into a community that needs your help right here at home. The UPCI Global Missions Ministry hosts a TESOL Certification program each summer because we believe everyone can reach someone, and this could be your way. Qualified instructors from the Teach to Go network who have experience using these tools are there to guide you to a better understanding of what it takes to teach English speaking, reading, and writing. You'll be in the company of other like-minded individuals also who are interested in impacting their communities. Having this certificate allows people who may otherwise never leave their comfort zone to volunteer with confidence and even apply for employment overseas. In fact, there are people right now in North America and around the world using their Teaching English certificate to make a ministry impact. Some living overseas are even earning a living with housing and airfare provided. If you're seeking direction, if you're looking for a way to reach into a new community, if you want to get out of your comfort zone but not leave home behind, prayerfully consider getting the TESOL Advantage. Find out more at aimtogo.org/TESOL.
Thank you for joining us in this session. We want to do everything we can do to help you along the journey. Enjoy the trip.
Many years ago, I was doing a kids' crusade in the country of Honduras. And there was a Sunday school class in St. Louis at New Life Church. And I had a young man, he was just a kid at the time, that prayed for me. But he prayed a specific prayer. His name is Tyler. He prayed that even though I had laryngitis when I went to this crusade, that when I got to the pulpit or when they handed me the microphone, that I would have a voice and that I would know it was God, because when I was finished, my voice would be gone. Well, you know, that is exactly what happened, exactly what he prayed. Years went by and he had an opportunity to go to Bangladesh on a mission trip. So I helped him to go and I prayed for him. A few more years went by and he got married, and 2 years ago I was at the Global Connections event in St. Louis, and I had the opportunity to pray with them both and speak into their lives. Isn't it amazing how God makes connections?
Pursuing missions can be overwhelming and a daunting proposition. You'll need all the support that you can gather, especially when you're starting out. And while most people jump immediately to monetary support, that is helpful and vital, relational support is at times most beneficial. The connections that you make with people provide the most value. Support in prayer, mentorship, and other opportunities that you may have previously missed out on are available only through relationship. Whether you're looking for answers, spiritual growth, or connections, or all three, you need to make attending Global Connections a top priority.
Join us, Global Connections.
Follow Sophie the Camel to download our newest online brochure about Access Challenged Nations. Visit gmstm.net/ACN. Want to get your hands on free material about our STM programs? Visit gmstm.net/catalog.